Mexico is not sending their best people. They're sending rapists and drugs, which is true. You know how many people, how many females that try to cross the border illegally get raped by the people that they cross over with? You know how many, like where most of the drugs in the United States comes from? It comes from across the border. So that's what he's saying. But if you listen to it, he says they're not sending their best people. That's like saying he wants them to send their people, but send the right people that wants to work and wants to live the American dream. That's exactly, because if you look at it, he's not even anti-Mexican. He's not anti-immigrant. His wife is an immigrant.
What about asylum seekers? And how many people, I mean, most people who go through ICE are people of color. I mean, most people who go into that facility are.
Yeah.
That's just true.
That is true.
But I guess my question is, what about asylum seekers? Because we're supposed to legally we're supposed to take asylum seekers and give them a chance. So how do you feel about people who are asylum seekers?
Unless it threatens the safety of the country. That is an actual law. Yes, that is an actual law. If it threatens the safety of the country and the people in America, the citizens of America, then we cannot allow those people to come into this country.
Well, what's the interpretation of that? You mean as individuals or as a group?
It could be groups or individuals. Most of the time it's individuals.
So are you saying we should just let all the asylum seekers in?
I'm
Because
only
here's the
asking
problem.
questions.
I
I'm
can
only
just,
asking questions.
okay, I like what you're saying, but here's the problem with that. I can be a really hardcore gangbanger, like a criminal. I've killed people in Mexico. I can just show up and be like, hey, I'm here to seek asylum.
So
And then you're just going to take me in. That's wrong.
So what's a humane way to keep families, right? Because, for instance,
let's fix the border, stop the illegal immigration coming in and everything, and let's do it the right way.
So how
Go through the process. My mom is from Western Samoa. I'm from American Samoa, and American Samoa is a territory, so I don't need a visa to come here. My mom is from Western Samoa. It's an independent country, and she needs a visa to come to the United States. It took her 5 years to get a visa, and she made it. And you know, for people to just come over like the poor like that, it's like they just spit in her face that she tried to did the right thing, and there's people that are cutting through the legal process just to make it easy for them to get here.
So, okay, for instance, there was a... Sorry, I'm just not used to being recorded. Okay, so, for instance, there was a woman, her son was getting... She was from El Salvador, and there was gang violence, right? And so she didn't let her children go to school. Her kids couldn't go to school because they would get kidnapped. So she kept her kids in the house. They weren't allowed to play for a few years, right? These kids couldn't even go outside. So what happened was, eventually the gangs knocked at her door, and they said, "We want your kids." And she was like, okay. And she left, and she came and she sought asylum. So I guess my question is, when things are that extreme and maybe you can't wait 5 years, what's a person to do? And even if they do detain people, what's a good way to keep the children? Because what in your mind is humane, I guess, and as a way to keep the children?
Well, I think don't jeopardize your kid to march, what, 1,500 miles with nothing, and expect to come to the border and have a wide open. My family did it the correct way, okay? They did it the correct way. So now you're spitting on every Mexican that's ever came across the correct way. Legally, okay? Where does it say in our Constitution that the United States has to be the police for the rest of the world because your country is shit? Okay? That's not our problem. And I'm speaking, as a Mexican American now.
To answer your question, with the female, you know, I can also like put it this way. You know, we don't know what really happened or anything. You know, somebody can always make up a story and come to the. But what I'm saying is, do it the legal way. Simple as that. Go through the process, you know, and just talk to somebody.
Is illegal.
Right. And there's certain laws to seek asylum. Let's follow the laws that are on the books. That's all we're saying. Okay, that's all I've ever said. Follow the immigration laws. If you did a research of Mexico's immigration laws, you would be calling Mexico racist. Okay?
You literally go to jail.
You cannot. Here's
prison.
one thing. You cannot protest in Mexico carrying an American flag. You will go to jail.
so sorry. It's shaking, and I don't want to.
You're cold.
Okay, sorry. Okay,
It's okay.
Keep going. I just want to like regroup so
Yeah,
that I can use the shot.
There's 6 pages of racist immigration on the books in Mexico. Okay? We don't discuss that. All we're doing is, in the United States, is enforcing the laws that have been on the books. There's no new laws that have happened. Not one. Not one new law has been enacted on immigration policy.
It's always been the same.
You got more questions?
Okay, so I guess my last question that I want to ask was about humane treatment. If family, like...
Is there any unhumane treatment going on right now?
Well, I guess my question is, okay, so it isn't that... I'm trying to figure out if people do think it's humane or inhumane when the family separation thing was happening. Sorry, I'm going to turn this off.
See, everybody is talking about that family separation. Well, here's the thing. Like it or not, it's been happening in our country. You break the law, you get sent to jail, to prison. That's separating you from your children. It's been happening. It's the same thing with the border. It hasn't changed. You break the law by coming in illegally. But here's the other problem. The only reason why they're doing that, separating parents from children, to make sure that it's because we have a guy that works in ICE building, and he said they treat them good. They get toys, they get donations and everything. And you know, the politicians are trying to paint this picture in people's head that they're being treated bad. No, these kids are being treated nice. But the only reason why they separate them, because there is a lot of child trafficking going on from that illegal crossing. Some parents in Mexico sells their children to traffic, you know, to sex trafficking and everything. That's why they separate them, to make sure it's a guarantee that that person that brought the child to the border is the right parent, that they're going to do their job. But they're not separating kids and then treating them like animal or anything. If you go in these facilities, they have beds, they have 3 meals a day, they get donations and everything. These kids are treated way better than the life that they came from. So I don't know what people are talking about, this whole child separation and everything.
So
it has been going on for a while. Not just this administration. It's been going on for quite a bit.
So okay. So my last follow-up, I think, is this: okay. So when people are, because there's been a lot of comparison about when people go to jail compared to family separation, right? But so when sorry, I'm gonna get better light on that. When people,
You're too dark.
no, that's the hat. The hat blocks people's eyes sometimes because the light changes. Oh no, it's okay. So when people are separated and go to jail, oftentimes kids will go to like foster homes and things like that. And so, as a person who talks to a lot of different protesters and all different sides, the one argument I've heard is that it's different because the kids are being held, you know, where they were with the chain link fences and everything. And so, like in the bigger facilities. And so I guess my question is the comparison really the same?
What do you mean?
To say that it's the same as a child.
You know that chain picture that everybody saw of the kids? Right? No. That one is true, but that is the new kids that they just. But that's the facility they hold them until they search everything. Then they send them to the side where they have beds and everything. But they want to bring these pictures because it fits their narrative. That's why they bring those pictures. Even the other picture that they brought, it was a protest that went on outside, and they brought it out, and they apologized for lying about it. They were like, "Oh, we didn't know it was a protest, so I'm sorry. It just looked like it fit our narrative, so we brought it in." That's wrong. Go to these ICE facilities. They allow you to go in there, and you'll see how these kids are treated. They're treated really good. Because we have a brother that's in our organization that works for ICE, and he deals with these kids, and he said he feels bad for most of them because they share their story about they're not even like those are not their parents that brought them across the border. So they should be happy that we're at least like helping these kids out. We're not treating them like bad people or anything. Because we're not blaming the kids for what the parents did.